Hi, I'm Barbara Feinberg, and today I just want to tell you a little bit about myself and why Ahavath Achim Synagogue is so important to me. First of all, I have to tell you that I was not a member of AA all my life. I was born in Atlanta, I grew up here, but I went with my family to share with Israel when I was growing up. And when I became a young adult in my 20s and 30s, still living in Atlanta, honestly, I did not have much to do with synagogues at all. I would go to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur services with my family at Shearith Israel, and that was about that. So how did I get here? Well, as luck would have it, I had bought a small house in Buckhead, and I got some new next door neighbors who had a baby girl. And they were having a baby naming for her at Ahavath Achim. They invited me to come, and it was the first time I had been at a Shabbat morning service, and I can't remember how many years. And I ended up being very surprised because that service really struck a nerve for me. I recognized that it touched some Jewish roots that had been dormant for a long time. And I recognized that, I wanted to touch those roots again. I wanted to find a way to connect with the Jewish community as well as with the life that I had been living. And believe me, my life was very active. I was traveling often on business. I had many friends across the city, very diverse group of friends, but I still wanted to do something that made me feel more Jewish and connected to other Jewish people. So I started to come to Shabbat services just about every Saturday morning. And I developed friends to sit with. I was able to chat with the rabbis at the Kiddush. And little by little, I felt like I could belong here. Fast forward to becoming a member, Gail Solomon was one of the first persons to recruit me to do something at the synagogue. Gail asked me if I would be on the Adult and Family Activities Committee, and I agreed. And any of you who know Gail know that she is not only a worker, but anybody who works on a committee with her must also go to work. So I took up that challenge. I ended up getting involved with a number of activities and leading things and putting together programs. And that was a great way for me to connect with the synagogue and to get to know people here. I got to know the rabbis better. I got to work with the folks who worked in the office, and they were the ones who helped me do whatever I was doing, have some success. So it was a wonderful experience, and I came to realize that my choice of joining AA was in fact brilliant. I also learned that a synagogue is more than just a place to come for services. When you're in your mid-30s, you haven't really thought a lot about life. I was doing things on a day-by-day basis, enjoying myself. But a synagogue is something that helps you get through a lot of activities and events in the Jewish life cycle and they can make it meaningful for you. So when I got married, Ken and I got married right here in Elman Chapel, complete with a klezmer group to bring everybody to life. When we had our daughters, that gave us more Shabbat mornings that were meaningful for us. We had their baby namings here, and they had their bat mitzvahs here. And of course, the synagogue was here for me in the sad parts of life too, when I lost my parents. And what I mean to say about AA is that it wasn't just an institution that told me what to do in times of sorrow. There were people here that I knew personally, whether they were part of the staff or friends that I had made, who were with me and had their concerns for me and had their comfort to give to me. And that's really what this community of Ahavath Achim is all about. So here I am, having been a member for 40 plus years, and at a time when I should be, in my time of life, getting rid of responsibilities and taking it a little bit easier and finding more fun things to do. Instead, I agreed to become an officer of the congregation. And I've asked myself, and you're probably asking yourselves, why would I want to do that? And it's really a very simple answer. I feel like right now I could not be more optimistic or excited about the future of this synagogue. Look at our rabbis, Rabbi Lawrence Rosenthal, Rabbi Sam Bluston, two of the most inspiring and hardworking rabbis anywhere, I feel sure. And they're able to grow their success on a foundation that was built by our Rabbi Emeritus, Neil Sandler, who created a sense of community and a sense of spirit within the walls of Ahavath Achim. And in addition to having that leadership, you look around here and boy, this place has got so much going on. The sanctuary is literally being transformed and being brought up to 21st century standards with technology and sound, and creating a space where people are going to feel connected to each other, not lost or overwhelmed by grandeur, but brought together in an embracing space. Our services have become animated and filled with song, not because we've got Rabbi Sam or Jordan leading lively services, which they do, but because people who are here are joining in. And when you walk into the lobby on a Shabbat morning, you hear many voices coming from Elman Chapel. And finally, if you look at what's happening with our children's programs and young families who are part of AA, there's a genuine sense of rebirth. I went to the retreat up at Camp Ramah a couple of months ago, and there were so many new people there for me to meet, and that made me excited. And I hope it made them excited too, because when I had a young family, it meant so much to me that my girls had older people they could meet inside their shul. And they did. They had many grandparents throughout this building because they came every Saturday with my husband and me. So today, I'm just here to say I'm glad to be part of this congregation. I'm proud of all its accomplishments. And most important, I want to invite you to join in. Many of you already do. But for those of you who haven't really felt comfortable to come in and come to services regularly, or felt a little uncomfortable or reluctant to sign up to be part of any kind of a program, do it. It's just a great way to get to know people, and you'd be amazed at how gratifying it is and how much it will raise your spirits and heighten your sense of being Jewish. And if you don't believe me, take a look at this month's B'nai. There are lots of pictures, there's information, you'll see information about the restoration of the sanctuary. But I really would like to suggest, I urge you in fact, to turn to the back of the book and take a look at the section that says, thank you to our volunteers, because there are literally hundreds of names of people who've been part of this congregation and made it hum. And I hope that you will add your name to these lists. I hope you'll add your faces to the pictures that are in the future B'nai. Thanks so much.